gun control and sexual harassment, even though on the Man Show, he did bits like this where he asked women to feel in his pants and tell him what they thought was in his pants.
I've stuffed something in my pants, and you're allowed to feel around on the outside of the pants. You have 10 seconds to then guess what is in my pants. You should use two hands. Two hands. You've done this before, haven't you? Maybe it would be easier if you put your mouth on it. How old are you?
18.
Okay, good. You sure of that? Because Uncle Jimmy doesn't need to do time. You're gonna make a fine wife. I think I wore the rubber underpants. And your guess is?
Vibrator?
A vibrator? No, it is actually a zucchini with a rubber band on it. But you can use it as a vibrator if you want. Look, this is a good game. This is a good game.
Okay. Ben Affleck decided to play a little grab ass with a Canadian reporter in 2004. And her name was Anne-Marie Lassique. He insisted that she do the interview on his lap.
They would like it better if you did the show topless at the station, wouldn't they? You usually show a lot more cleavage than this. What's the story? Why are you covering it up today?
Well, it's Sunday morning.
It's Sunday morning. That never stopped me before from getting the out. What are you trying to fool? These breasts are very firm. Suspiciously firm. What is... I mean, they are like two giant stones. What just happened? How are you get like that?
No, because it's a sport bra.
Oh, sport bra? That's why?
That's why.
Do you have a boyfriend in back in Montreal? Yeah, I have many boyfriends. Don't worry about me. I have 7 lovers.
Wow. And to know that he was being filmed is really funny. I think the funniest soundbite of the day is Ed Asner on MSNBC. I want you to listen to this. This is absolutely hilarious. So he's an old guy, old school. He, of course, was the boss on Mary Tyler Moore, which was a very liberating show of women in the workplace. Okay, fine. And she had this, Chris Jansing had him on about Harvey Weinstein and sexism in Hollywood. Ed Asner decided at the onset of the interview to ask her for a kiss.
Ed Asner, who helped demonstrate the changing culture of independent women in the workplace for millions of Americans each week. Ed Asner, wow, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you. And not even a kiss.
Not even a kiss?
No, nothing, right?
Oh, my God. Well, I think the offenders have to be punished. And I'm sure I've been guilty at times of using my overpowering masculinity.
He's essentially admitting that he did that kind of thing.
To beg for a kiss as I did when I opened this conversation with you. But I know better than to push it.
And then he goes ahead and pushes it.
Longtime fan, thank you so much for coming on the program. Good luck with the book.
You still owe me a kiss.
Okay, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And with good reason, Mr.
No. I'm not a job procurer.
Thank you. It is good to see you.
Wow. That was just, that was priceless. Oh, that is funny. Okay, creepy grandpa. Well, you're going to move on. Thanks. Been a real pleasure having you on. You are a creep, though. All right. Let's pivot real quick to Vegas. Some of the victims' families, they're starting the lawsuit process. And they are going to, at least Paige Gasper, Sonoma State University student, is suing the Mandalay Bay and MGM Resorts, the estate of the shooter. Liability claims also against Slide Fire, the manufacturer of the bump stock device. And then the music festival organizers for not keeping people safe. Well, nobody could have ever imagined somebody would break out the windows of a hotel and fire down onto an open crowd. So I hope that doesn't go anywhere. And the bump stock is completely legal. The bump stock is as legal as a car. If you kill somebody with your car, you can't sue Ford Motor Company. Or somebody kills you with a car, you can't sue the Ford Motor Company. But they're casting a wide net. They want to make as much money as possible. And I think it's the families. It's the trial lawyers. Couple of names you need to remember: Stephen Shook and Jesus Campos. These two guys were on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort before the shooter started shooting. There's been a shift in the timeline, and I want to go through this because I was just on KXNT in Vegas this morning doing a show. These two guys, Stephen is a maintenance worker. Jose is a security officer. Jose was shot in the leg, and then 200 rounds came through the door of the shooter's hotel suite. Even though he was shot, Jose Campos shook, pushed him down, and saved his life because the bullets came whizzing over his head and he survived, uninjured. Here's the change in the timeline this morning, and this is where it's going to get dicey with Mandalay Bay. This is according to ABC News on World News Tonight. Hotel staffers at the resort did not call Las Vegas police until after Stephen Paddock, I said his name, damn it, started his mass shooting spree. So what happened was Jose Campos, Stephen Schuck on the floor. Jose gets shot. The 200 bullets fly through. 6 minutes later is when he started shooting out the window, the shooter. That's finally when Mandalay Bay called the police because Jose Campos had gotten a hold by walkie-talkie. So had Stephen Schuck. They called downstairs. They said, hey, we've got an active shooter situation here. I've got some audio. Let me see if I can find it here. Here is the audio of Stephen Schuck.
Wait. Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway. Copy. Hey, it's on 32.
Base to 106 Stevens. Security wants to know if you know a room.
It's at the end of the hallway. I can't tell you what room. He looked like he fired down the hallway when I got close to the door.
Copy. So it's down to 100 the hallway, correct?
Security's up here.
The guy's been, just amazingly calm and cool about it. But the fact of the matter is, he called down, and now phone records show that Mandalay Bay didn't take it seriously until the bullets started flying out the windows. So that's going to present some problems for Mandalay Bay. Should be fairly easy to prove because the police keep copious phone records and recordings. So that's the latest. That's what they're saying. 6 minutes between when Campos was shot and when Paddock first opened fire on the concert. So that's going to be problematic for them. But remember those two names, Stephen Schuck and Jose Campos, because they were the reason why the shooter only shot for 10 minutes. I believe that. He knew that the gig was up. He knew that, and people are saying that he had expected to escape, but they were on him before he started. So he ended it quickly, thank God. The police didn't get there until 17 after. So the police were called at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. They arrived at 10:17, which I think is remarkably fast, considering they had to be notified, then they came, and then they had to formulate a plan. Ron Hosko, former FBI assistant director, has worked with SWAT teams. He says rather than rush in without a game plan, police would have been formulating the best response to the barricaded gunman. Undersheriff Kevin Mayhill says, I can tell you I'm confident that he was not able to fully execute his heinous plan, and it certainly had everything to do with being disrupted. He says, I don't think the hotel dropped the ball. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of questions to be answered. There are a lot of moving targets, pardon the expression. And there are a lot of different perspectives. There are a lot of witnesses have different descriptions of things. People could say this. Two people could see the same event and see completely different things. So we'll see. One way Mandalay Bay could have unwittingly assisted this guy is by letting him use a freight elevator. One of the perks, I guess, for using being a high roller is you get to use the freight elevator. It's more private, right? Well, a Las Vegas bellhop may have helped Stephen Paddock accidentally carry his arsenal of weapons and ammunition up a freight elevator. The shooter had accessed through a hotel perk and into the out-of-view 32nd floor suite Paddock used to rain down his mayhem. Unidentified hotel worker at least twice helped Paddock with his belongings. Although authorities have yet to identify any abnormalities in the gunman's behavior. Access to the resort's massive service elevator is an advantage the shooter took advantage of. Deborah Deschong of MGM says this remains an ongoing investigation with a lot of moving parts. As evidenced by law enforcement briefings over the past week, many facts are still unverified and continue to change as events are underway, under review. There's no surveillance cameras in the floor's hallway, only on the elevator banks. And the timestamps on the hotel's communication system in some cases may have been off. So there's going to be some discrepancies in the timeline. That's what they're saying. I don't know. The one thing I do know is those two guys, the maintenance worker and the security guard, I think they really stopped what could have been a lot worse because he had another 1,000 rounds of ammo. He had another 1,000 rounds to go. Donald Trump says $1 million will be sent to Vegas for law enforcement overtime. That's good. Guy staying on the floor, Sonny Morgan, a Georgia resident, flew up to Vegas for a conference, said, I was watching the rest of a Sunday night football game, went to sleep. Right around 10 o'clock, I woke up to the sounds of gunshots. Initially, I had thought it might have been some fireworks, and then it just kept going and going. After calling downstairs to the desk, Morgan said hotel staff instructed him to barricade himself inside his room, explaining they were made aware of the situation. He reportedly listened to the orders, built a pillow fort to protect himself as SWAT teams moved in to take out the shooter. Said, I could hear the SWAT teams making their way up the hallway, basically breaking down doors, opening the doors aggressively. 6 or 7 SWAT guys came in and made sure that I wasn't a bad person. They ushered us out and told us to run as far and fast as we could to get away. Do not disturb sign's getting a second look. When a do not disturb sign hangs outside a hotel room for a while, staff will usually call or knock at some point to make sure everything is okay. Usually they wait about 12 hours. Casino owner Steve Wynn said, a room goes on do not disturb for more than 12 hours, we investigate. Guy was in the room for 5 days. Steve Wynn said it would have triggered a bunch of alarms here. Really? I don't know. You knock on the door and say, are you okay? He says, fine. A hold-up guest might be ill, he added. Steve Wynn. Staff would check to see if they're safe. So there's a limit. There's a limit to privacy in a hotel room that probably is going to have to be looked at. Illegal activity can happen in any hotel room, but it's far more common to worry about a guest's health than to worry about stockpiling weapons. When was the last time you heard 23 assault rifles in a hotel room? This according to Steve Carville, a finance professor at Cornell University School of Hotel Administration. Nobody expected this. Evil finds a way to kill, and it's very innovative. Right now, in cities around the world, it's running over people with cars, and they're going to put up barricades in Paris, and they're going to put up barricades in wherever, and then evil will find another way. Evil found a way during the Boston Marathon a few years ago with pressure cooker bombs. Evil found a way by bringing box cutters onto 4 airplanes and killing thousands of people. Evil finds a way. Then it became underwear bombs. Then it became shoe bombs, and thank God they didn't work out. But evil finds a way. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly thinking, and it's because we don't think like them. Because if we did, I mean, that would be sure some in law enforcement have to think that way. But I don't know. Just remember the two heroes. Remember the two heroes. As far as the NFL protests are concerned, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive lineman Gerald McCoy predicted Wednesday that there would be an uproar if the NFL requires players to stand for the national anthem.